Hello guys and welcome back. I am TeresaDRuiz. Well, welcome to May 2020's update. It's finally here and I'm going to show you what I have in bloom. It's not a lot. Everything that I have in bloom I purchased already with a spike or the blooms. What I have going on with my plants that I've had for a while now are that they're in spike. And they have a lot of new growths going on, so that's awesome. So let's get started. I want to show you my pothos. I think I'm pronouncing it right. Look how large this is. It's probably larger than my head. I acquired a clipping of this plant about 6 months ago, and it used to be just these large leaves, and I finally started growing new leaves. As you can see, they're a little smaller, but because it's taken them a while to get established. So if you guys remember, this Musicyoutube Morris chestnut has been in bloom since I received it in March. This is the second spike and it's now withering off, so but it's still lovely. This here is the Bortley Schwarzwurz. Oh, I do apologize for my mispronunciation, but I will definitely put it in the corner of the video so you know exactly what I'm talking about. So I purchased this one from Coast Grove's Cymbidium Orchid Company, and it was in spike. I came home Friday from work and the blooms were finally opened. It's a beautiful plant. Has a new growth going on. I have this pink Phalaenopsis here, no ID, but it's doing amazing. Alright guys, well these are my orchids once again that have been struggling for a while, and I am very pleased to report that there's a lot going on. A lot of new roots. Look at that growth. There's more roots down there. A little harder to see on these, but they are all doing just amazing. This Cattleya here is the Yasuji Takasaki Hawaiian Yellow, and there is a new growth developing there. Roots are pretty amazing. This one here, I'm pretty sure everybody knows it by now. It was very dehydrated. The leaves are a little firmer now, but the signs of dehydration are not going to go away. But March, I only had this leaf here, then finally developed this one here, and now there's a new one. But as it's developing all those new leaves, I'm also getting a basil cakey. Woohoo! Pretty excited because it looks like the plant is doing very good. There's new roots down there, so you can see more new roots developing there, so it's pretty. It looks like the mother plant's gonna make it, and I'm also gonna have a basil keiki, which is amazing. I have these keikis here. Let's see if you can see that. These 3 keikis I removed from the mother plants back in March, and I mean, look at that. I've got 2 new growths on this one, 2 new ones on this one, and roots on the other one. I have some Cattleyas that I added to this community tray not that long ago, and they're doing good. Actually, there's a new growth developing on that one. Hopefully you can see it there, but it's doing good. My Dendrobium kingianum is doing good. Tons of keikis, so that's good. This one here is the Phalaenopsis I received from Carmela's first box that I received, and as you can see, blooms still look pretty good. Some of them are withering off, which is normal because when I received it, it had already been all the blooms were opened. But in my care, it developed this spike here, this new spike, and the old spikes actually starting to develop more buds, which is amazing. The roots look just as good as when I received it. This one here is the Wilhelmina Pinot Princess Scary, and you guys did see it on one of my tours. I purchased it. I couldn't walk away without it. It's still doing amazing. There is root development going on. Now this one here, Howard's Dream, B-E-L March Fitz Howard's Dream. And I also purchased this one at the Coast Grove Cymbidium company. What you guys see back there are avocado trees or avocado pits that are finally sprouting. So I do other stuff besides, just, you know, other than orchids. It is what I like to do. But these avocados here, these are, I have to give my husband the credit. He's the one who's taking care of these babies here. Alright, so then we have the next one up is the Brassica Rex Leah. I also got this one at the Coast Grove, and there was already a growth going on, developing there, but yesterday I noticed that there is a new growth developing there, which I'm very excited for, because look at the size of those pseudobulbs. It's huge. A mosquito the size of a horse. Oh god. This dendrobium here is the Burana Jade Fantasy. And when I received it, it didn't have that many roots. It's a pretty good size. The roots, I feel that they could have been looked better, but it's okay. Now there is a new growth there, so I'm gonna get new roots on that. Very excited for that. Moving on, this is a no ID fowl. It's doing pretty good. This leaf just finished developing and now it's developing a new one, so that's pretty good. New roots everywhere. This one here is developing a pretty large spike and it's still growing, but it also branching out. So I can't wait to see these. I have a mini fowl there. Mini fowl there with a spike, another mini fowl in blooms. This dendrobium here, you guys, is actually doing better now. Thank you for you guys' tips. When I first received it, all the leaves started yellowing. As you can see, the yellowing has somewhat stopped, or at least it's not happening as fast as it was. Started losing leaves. I know that some dendrobiums can go into during the winter, will lose some of the leaves, but it is spring, so I was a little concerned about that. I think what happened was that it wasn't used to receiving so much sunlight, and all of a sudden I just set it out there. And then also when I had it in my greenhouse the first time around, I didn't have my fan on, so what was happening, I think it was that it was getting too hot and the leaves were just burning off. It almost looked like they were freezing, not burning. The leaves were almost looking, they were getting mushy and almost transparent, which was kind of terrifying, but I think I've got it down now. It's doing good, and if I'm not mistaken, that there is a spike developing. Right here. Hopefully you guys can see it. Alright, I know that my April update, I got a little carried away and I was very excited to see new developments happening with my Zygopetalum. But I was wrong. It was not a spike, you guys. What I thought was a spike is actually a new growth, and there's roots already, which is amazing because my growths have never developed so fast. But if you recall my April update, I had mentioned that these 3 growths that you see there were the newest ones, and they've been there since like 2018, end of 2018 and all of 2019, and I didn't see any development going on until a few months ago. The pseudobulb finally matured. which I know that psychopetalums bloom from a growth that has not been mature yet, from like the young growths. So you know, I don't know, I thought maybe because I've had it so long, I was so excited and I just assumed that it was a spike that I was seeing there, but no, it's a new growth. And then I have another growth going on there out of this growth here. I don't see one from the third one. I don't know, maybe this one is a spike. I don't know, we'll find out, but I'll keep you guys posted. But yes, I was wrong. Alright, so I'm out here where I have most of my cattleyas and a few of the epidendrums. Some vandas, they like the sunlight a lot more. And I really don't have much blooming, you guys. The only thing that bloomed this time around was the epidendrum that I had purchased, no ID. It's just the red-orange one. There's new growth developing there. And then again, I was wrong. Do you guys remember how I had mentioned that I thought the spike was branching out? Well, no. It was actually a keiki. Look at this long root. So I have a lot of new roots developing, a lot of new growths, which I'm very excited for. This one here is the Epilate Cattleya Golden Sunburst Yellow, and I love the pseudobulbs on this. They're nice and round, beautiful. But it's got 3 directions of growth: 1, 2, and 3, and I believe they all sprouted from this one. So I'm looking forward to this one. I feel like it's going to get to be a pretty big plant pretty fast. I think I'm gonna mount this one and just let it get huge. My vandas, I watered them yesterday. I forgot to water this one here. New roots everywhere. This one here is also a Cattleya, no ID. It also has 3 new growths. The weird thing is that they're inside. 2 of them are inside the, you know, all the way in here. One of them is peeking his head there. A lot of new roots. Alright, you guys. This is what my Ancilia africana is looking like. One sad little cane. But the good news is that none of the mealybugs came back. It's doing good. I pulled it out about 2 weeks ago and there's a new growth developing. So hopefully we're going to start to see it within the next few months. Maxillera tenuifolia is still in bloom. I can still smell it. Before I forget, I want to show you. This right here is one of the seedlings, the largest seedling that I deflasked. I finally potted it in its own regular, you know, bark, moss, some charcoal, leca, and it's doing good. As you can see there is a new leaf growing, and I already set it out here with the rest of my orchids. Alright guys, my very first vanda, the Manuel Torres. Do you guys remember how I was struggling for like the longest time? I had mentioned it lost all his leaves, and I thought I was gonna lose it. Well, it's doing amazing. After I developed this leaf, I pulled it out of the moss that it was in, and I removed it from the community container, and it's now potted. So I hope it continues to do well, but I felt like it was pretty established. It had been in that container since November, since I purchased it. So yeah, I have some more succulents here and some polka dot. Look at the color on this one. Alright guys, this is my front yard garden. As you can see, I have a lot going on. Not just with my orchids, my tomatoes, zucchinis, my baskets, my passion fruit tree. It is finally blooming. Tomatoes, chilies, jalapenos, flowers. It's a small area, but I have a lot going on. Before we get started with showing you what all my orchids that I have here in the development, you guys remember how there used to be a mourning dove? It was a tragedy. My dog, Emma, kind of accidentally killed one of the birds. Flew off the nest, and I don't think it could fly back to the nest. And our front door was left open, and we didn't realize it, and she killed the bird. It was the saddest thing. My mom was devastated. Let me show you something. She decided to come back. And hopefully, I had put some of the baskets up here. We already took it down because we didn't want to, you know, scare her away. But she is up there again. And I checked. There's 2 new eggs, so we're gonna leave her alone. We're gonna let her do her thing, and I'll show you what the babies look like in like a month. Alright, let's get started. So there's a lot of new root development on this orchid here. My April update, I had mentioned there was 4 spikes developing here. Well, one of them, the bugs got to it again. This one here, they got to the part of the spike that was still growing. So now there's just this bud left, but this orchid just wants to bloom, and it branched out here. So this is growing, and well, look at that, those spikes are getting large. There's a new spike on that one, new root, a new spike there, and it's also developing. It's branching out here. Alright, my second love dendrobium is liking its spot here. I removed it from where I had hung it first, and it's liking it here. It receives a few hours of sunlight in the evening, and look, it's growing. I removed the mesh. I took the advice of one of you guys who warned me about the mesh either suffocating the new growths or blocking the new growths from growing outwards. So I removed it, and that's what it looks like now. My Oncidium Cherry Baby, I had to pull it down. I had to pull it off so you guys can see. The roots are actually expanding now. I'm sorry if I'm moving around too much, but I want to show you guys. There is a new growth there, yay! So this is the Sweet Fragrance Cherry Baby. And I have this Cattleya here. New roots, new growth. This is my passion fruit. That's what the blooms look like. Aren't they beautiful? Three of my largest Cattleyas down here. The growths are doing good. Green roots everywhere. So they were receiving a little too much sunlight, I believe, so that's why I put them down here. I almost forgot. My Brassia, guys. It is doing wonderful. It's got 2 new growths developing there. Okay guys, well that's it for today. Thank you for joining me. Please don't forget, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And well, you guys have a good day. Bye.